Here is what Donald Trump said joining G7.
Hello.
I'm the boss.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece, isn't it? Because, first of all, he knows he's the boss. He's surrounded by a bunch of horrible losers. And the horrible losers in unison, they are, yeah, you can hear, right? And there's nothing they can do about it. So it is a masterclass of, we call it in English, working the room. He knows how to work a room, and he knows how to impose his persona immediately. Just take 3 words. It's very, very impressive. And at the same time, you feel that his body language, he's not comfortable with himself. He may be the boss, but what's the point of being the boss among a bunch of losers? Not much. They're not deciding anything. And the extra proof is not in the video. The G7, they called 4 BRICS to this summit. And they were there. MBZ for UAE. He had a private encounter with Trump and a private encounter with the toxic Medusa von der Leyen. Egypt, India, and Brazil. And poor Lula was relegated to the 2nd division, even in the photo. If you pay attention at the photo, it's very, very important, the official photo. If you look at the footage of how they got together, how they had their assigned places in the photo, Lula is assigned to the extreme left. And if we are, in our point of view as viewers looking at the photo, in the extreme right of the photo, he's almost out of the photo. And very, very important to all of you, our audience. Right in the center, you have I am the boss, of course, side by side with the pathetic Le Petit Roi. And guess who's side by side with Trump and Macron? India and Egypt. 2 BRICS. Why? Modi and Sisi. And that's where the thing gets really, really heavy. Both are supporters. One of them very, very obvious, and the other one trying to disguise, of Bellum Judaica. It's not Pax Judaica. It's War Judaica, Bellum in Latin. So they are supporters of Bellum Judaica, and they are supporters of a connectivity corridor that, as we speak right now, is dead, the IMEC, which is theoretically India Middle East corridor, but it's in fact Israel, Middle East, Europe, India corridor. And they are side by side with 2 of the nations where the Zionist lobby is the strongest on earth, the United States and France. So this is how you read this photo. It tells you a lot. And he also tells you about the desperation of the G7, where they have a meeting of the G7, and they need to get 4 BRICS to make themselves relevant. Otherwise, they are just a bunch of losers, and the boss enters the room, looks at them. I am the boss. You are nothing. Well, you can do that, Nima, without even going to Evian to drink Evian water on the spot. By the way, you can buy in the supermarket for less than €1. You don't need to go there. Okay.
I think in this G7 meeting, 2 important issues. One of them is the MOU between Iran and the United States, which was the main topic of your latest piece, your latest article. And we know that your article is not out yet. Yeah?
Not out yet. It's going to be out tonight in Russia and Asia. But I sent you a copy, or
Yeah,
the original
I
draft.
have
I
it
sent
here.
to you.
That's why,
Thank you.
because
Thank
many of our audience later on asking me where is the link, because we don't have the link yet.
Not yet.
Later on, if you get the link, you can send it to me, and I'm gonna put it in the description of this video.
Thank you, Nima. I'll do that. It's going to take a few hours at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is the title is what the Iran-US MOU is all about.
Right.
Yeah. What is your understanding? What do you make of it?
Nima, okay, to give you the short headline, of course, I get into some detail about some of the 14 points outlined in the MOU, which were all originally Iranian talking points and discussion points. Essentially, this is a play for time. Trump has, I would say, a three-stage strategy to sell this MOU. Number one, he's going to say that the free flow of oil in the Strait of Hormuz is back, thanks to him. So he liberated the Strait of Hormuz to the status of the Strait of Hormuz before the war that he launched. So you have to be really a consummate idiot to buy that. But anyway, he thinks that he can sell that. I basically liberated the flow of oil in the Strait of Hormuz. So this means I'm going to calm the markets. I'm going to calm the bond markets as well, not only the energy markets. There will be no spike in inflation. Things will go back to normal thanks to me. This is how he's going to sell it. Okay, number one. Number two, he can say that, okay, now we start negotiations, but negotiations are not very important. The most important thing is the oil, which was always there in the first place. And he's buying time, or at least a lull, going towards the midterms, which are going to be in November. So we are in June now. We're going to have a first period of the MOU lasting 30 days, where concessions will have to be made. Among them, some measure of sanctions relief to Iran. None of us is buying that. But the US, they promised, so they have to deliver something. Number two, follow the money. Very important. $12 billion that, according to the MOU, should be returned to Iran in this first phase. So this means in the next months, Iran needs to receive $12 billion of its own money, which was confiscated. And the other 12 billion during the next 60-day period of the actual discussions, right? So Trump can, of course, if the U.S. gives these 12 billion, Trump can always sell to domestic public opinion. Look, this has nothing to do with us. This is Qatari banks, Saudi banks, Omani banks. We have nothing to do with it. And this is how he's going to sell it. So his supporters in the US, they say, okay, we have nothing to do with it. And number three, he's actually playing for time. So if he can make this issue more or less disappear from the news in the next few weeks, meaning 1 month plus 2 months of negotiations, let's say until September or early October, he preserves maybe a little bit of his political capital, and people won't make the direct connection between the MOU and the massive strategic defeat of the United States in the war against Iran. Considering that the attention span of the average American is extremely limited, he may pull that off. It's not far-fetched to imagine that this could happen. And then, of course, when we get to the midterms, he's not going to be completely smashed. Maybe he can salvage something for the Republican Party. If he cannot, we all know what's going to happen next. We're going to have Democratic majorities, Senate, and they're going immediately to impeach him and to go after him, his fortune, his family, and his cronies. So he's basically investing in his political salvation, mid-term and long term. So it starts now. And that's why he needed this MOU so badly. It is the only off ramp in town for him. So he took it. And until the last minute, Nima, he was not taking it. So that's why we have to backtrack to what happened this past Sunday. Very important for you and for our audience. Guess who was in Islamabad throughout the weekend? Abbas Arakchi, in person, negotiating in person with the Pakistani mediators the final terms of the MOU. And they were optimistically saying, okay, Sunday, we send the final draft to the Americans. They say, okay, and that's it. And we can announce that we're going to sign it later next week. This week, as we speak. We are on Wednesday. The signing ceremony is going to be in Geneva on Friday. But Israel decided to attack Dahieh and blow up the MOU even before there was an understanding. Arakchi was in Islamabad, in contact directly with the Pakistani mediators, which were in direct contact with the Americans. So Arakchi told the Pakistanis, call the Americans now and tell them, if Israel continues to bomb Dahieh, we are ready to start bombing Israel now. Now means literally now. We have our finger on the trigger and we have the list of targets already. So the Pakistanis call the Americans, and a few minutes later, the White House says, okay, we're going to sign. We promise. They said, we promise we're going to sign. And they agreed with at least, according to the Pakistani mediators, at least 3 items among the 14 points that the Americans were still saying, no. In the end, they agreed. So, Nima, this is where we are, but there's no guarantee of anything. First of all, the Americans are saying that they signed electronically. Trump and Vance. We have no evidence. There's nobody showed a copy of the electronic page of their signatures. This is what they're saying. And Iran has not, as far as we know, today, Wednesday, end of the afternoon here in Europe, nobody knows if the Iranians have not signed yet. So they are still revising it. And the process in Tehran is much more complicated than a mere leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, says, okay, we should sign. No, he delegated the signing to the Supreme National Security Council. This means that they are still debating among themselves. And Mojtaba, according to our mediators, who have access to Mojtaba, because when they went to visit Iran weeks ago, they visited Mojtaba in person with a delegation of Pakistani Shiite clerics. This is immensely important because it creates trust between the Pakistani negotiators and the leader. So through the Pakistani Shiite clerics, they are in direct contact with Mojtaba. So this delegation is you guys of the Supreme National Security Council, you need to reach a solid majority. If you do that, then you sign. I give you the green light to sign, but only if, I would say, virtually all of you agree with it. And that's why, Nima, sorry, this is still being debated in Iran. This is the latest information that we have, Nima. We checked last night, the last time, with the Pakistani mediators, and we got this from a guy at the table. Very, very important.
Yeah. Pepe, how do you see the way that Israel is trying to get the MOU or a copy of MOU? Because they tried everything to get it. Everything.
But it's very hard to believe, Nima, that they haven't seen it yet.
Exactly.
It's practically impossible that they haven't seen it
but
yet.
They want to have it officially to put it.
Exactly. Maybe they don't have it officially. For instance, maybe the White House did not send them a copy officially. But considering the Zionist lobby in DC and elsewhere, come on. Obviously, there. Come on, everybody has a copy. There are copies in Arabic circulating everywhere. In Farsi, for obvious reasons, but in Arabic everywhere. So everybody has a copy. So obviously the Israelis saw it. So they're making a play. We were ignored and all that. So there is an element of good cop, bad cop in this whole thing. It's not going to fool anybody.
But we heard from the Prime Minister of Canada, he said on CNN, he said that he saw the document.
Mhm.
It's something like 2 pages, something like that.
Yes, it's very short. Exactly.
Yeah. And then,
The version circulating with Arab TV channels, Al Arabiya, Al Jazeera, everybody has a copy. So it's very short. But very important, all the 14 points that Iran was pressing for weeks, they are there. That's very, very important. If the Americans are going to abide, that's another story. And the story starts on Friday. The first 30 days, then the crucial next 60 days. I would say that the absolute majority of all of us independent analysts, we don't believe that the Americans are going to fulfill even 10% of what they're promising. Because if they do, most of these key points, they spell out major strategic defeat. They simply cannot admit it. And this is not a matter of Trump. Trump is a messenger, a lowly messenger, the boss or whatever. But come on, the people who run the show treat Trump as, okay, our messenger boy. The ruling elites in the US, they cannot possibly admit that. Because the big picture, the big plan includes subduing Iran, regime change, controlling the Strait of Hormuz, controlling energy flowing from Iran, and most of all, imposing the petrodollar on Iran and everybody else. Well, everybody else, they already do petrodollar. But stop having ideas of deviating from the petrodollar. For that, they need to conquer Iran. So they won't deviate. This is the master plan, and they won't deviate. The war, once again, something that you and our audience, all of you already know. It's a war against Iran, against Eurasian integration, against Russia-China strategic partnership, against the whole of Eurasia, against BRICS, against SCO, against the global south. And conquering Iran is an essential plank for this war to go on, which brings us to the key question. Will this war be subdued from now on? No. It's going to change its character a little bit. It's going to be maybe slightly slower, the progression, than until 3 months ago or during the war. But we're still going to have hybrid war. We're still going to have black ops, dirty ops, underground ops, destabilization ops, attempts at regime change. Nothing will change. So this is the empire backing off for a while, reorganizing, but they will continue later on. And this is something that the Iranian leadership knows very well, and the Russians and the Chinese also know it very, very well.
Yeah. Pepe, have you watched the interview of the former Israeli officer Ari Ben Menashe talking about the Epstein files and the wild card that Benjamin Netanyahu still possesses? He has that card to play. I don't know.
He has that card to play, and he's probably waiting for the absolutely crucial moment to play it. And the crucial moment may be if, and that's a major if, Trump tells Netanyahu straight, don't interfere with my deal. This, I would say this is the only possibility. And after that, Netanyahu, yeah, okay, all right. Epstein files on the front pages everywhere around the planet. Until then, we're going to have this good cop, bad cop thing.
Yeah. Here is what Ari Ben Menashe, former intel, here is what he said.
Okay.
The real deal between the Americans and the Iranians, and it's going towards that. Netanyahu will try to sabotage it. One of the ways he'd sabotage it is by putting out Epstein material against U.S. government officials, including Trump. And he put it out there. New material that wasn't seen before in public.
So it's not just Trump. I know that Howard Lutnick is mentioned. There are other officials.
Not just Trump, other officials too. Yes. And he'll try to sabotage the whole negotiation and deal that would be that they're trying to make together.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. And of course, this also is tied to the possibility of Netanyahu losing the next elections in Israel. And if that happens, he goes to jail, period. That's the end. So that will be the last card to play, Nima. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And a lot of people in the Epstein axis, the Beltway, New York, New Jersey axis, wow, they are absolutely freaking out because they know it's out there. They know Netanyahu has it, the whole thing. And it's going to be horribly damaging for anybody in a position of power in the US caught in the net. And that's a lot of people. So this is as nasty as it gets. It's like a Mexican soap opera going downhill, you know. All sorts of horrible stuff happens. And we haven't, we are only at the beginning. Literally.